Thanks to the support as a channel member, Rob Pontin. Oh, we're finally having a little bit of a cup run. We're deeper into the FA Cup than we've ever been before, and hopefully go a little bit further today. Hello and welcome to part 32 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our FA Cup second qualifying round game against Punjab United, and then we also play Northwood in the league. And as you can see, our start to the league season has been way above what we ever could have hoped for. We are unbeaten in all competitions so far this season, having already gone through the extra preliminary round and first qualifying round of the FA Cup. We've not actually played a team yet who are at our level. They've all been below us so far. So we've had a lot of luck with the draw, but it is also making a nice little difference when it comes to money coming through the door. As you can see, our gate receipts for this season at 26 grand, already higher than last season's 25. It's the 11th of September and we've already made more money on gates receipts than last year. Match day income is already closing in on last year's total. Where's prize money on here? Is that, oh yeah, prize money's at the top. So last season's prize money, £600. This year we've already made over £6,000 on prize money. So that is all jolly good. But we've also been really, really good in the league as well, including a victory over our old rivals, Rayners Lane, who I know I promised you a double header with them and South Park, but the cup runs moved the fixture list around and we don't actually play South Park now until November. So we played Rayners Lane off camera so we can focus on this cup run. And this is what the league table looks like. 7 matches in, joint top of the league, 17 points on the board, no defeats yet. Things are going really rather well. We've still been messing around with transfers and whatnot. We brought in Coyote Agwu, who I think is a goalkeeper we almost had in on loan in the last episode. He's come in and played quite a lot of football for us. He seems quite good. Lewis Clayton was already here because he came in, made his debut and got injured. Kai Taylor has joined us on loan for the season from #United. He is a left winger who's come in, gone straight into the team and looks pretty useful. And we've just signed Chris Tipple on loan from Cray Valley for the season. We haven't yet used him. Unfortunately, there has been a couple of casualties. Firstly, D.L. Everett got a grumpy on that we weren't using him enough, and as he was on a non-contract, he just left. So that was a little bit of a shame. But more of a shame than that even is Mike Kemmerer. This was supposed to be his breakout season. Had a spine injury and was initially going to be out for 11 to 13 months. It's now down to 7 to 10 months, but at 18 years old, that's probably enough to finish him. I think it's a shame because he was going to be great. I suspect that's him finished, though. We'll see how he is next season when he's back. But that is a long way from ideal. But let's not worry about the negatives. Let's focus on the positives. And the positive is this cup run. Punjab United are down in the Southern Counties East League Premier Division, which is the level below us, back down in Tier 9 where we were last year. So I'd like to think we should be able to beat them. Cross your fingers, boys and girls. Lewis Clayton's fit again after getting injured on his clean sheet debut in the last episode. So he's going to be in goal. So going to be a back four of Jacob Donovan, Drakos, Duffy and Wood. We're rotating a little bit because they're from the league below and we're kind of wanting to keep winning in the league. So we play Northwood in just a couple of days. So that's where the first team are going to be. Downey comes in as part of that same policy alongside Sean Martin in midfield. I'm just giving those two some game time, and then Taylor, Sant and Best behind Bayliss up front. So very much the usual first choice front four. Although having said that, Anton Canerva has probably played as many games as Bayliss at this point and is scoring more frequently than he is. So I think I've probably decided at this point that Canerva's my starting striker and Bayliss is the rotation option. So it's not quite the usual first choice striker with Bayliss being in the team, but Bayliss started the season as the first choice striker. So, you know, that's basically the same. Sean Martin, first start of the season for him, and he gives the ball away on the edge of the area and we're 1-0 down. And that is not the start that we had in mind. Do we know? No offsides or anything there, ref? No? That's a little bit of a shame. Sean Martin Little bit worried about him. There he is, wins the ball back, but doesn't do anything with it. Sant tries to help him out, but can't. And we've left ourselves with a bit of I won't say a mountain to climb, but certainly an uphill slope that we need to now navigate if we're going to keep this cup run going. And obviously the cup run, quite important financially. Maybe I should have put the first choice team out for this one, because the cup run's probably more important than the league, because no matter how well we play now, we're almost certainly not getting promoted this year. So we probably should have focused on the cup run. We live and we learn. Who knows? Maybe we'll turn things around anyway. There's Sant, who hasn't quite been the all-conquering genius he was last time he was here, but he's still an upgrade on anything we've had at attacking midfield since he was last at the club. And Duffy has slotted straight back in as well. So it's nice to see those two boys settling in nicely back at the club. And Bayliss on the edge of the area plays it out to Donovan, who's going to get a lot more game time after the injury to Camera, but he's given the ball away there. I mean, he's a right back who can play left back, which is, it's nice. It's always handy to have players who can do multiple positions. I just wish Camera hadn't got injured. Best is in, and Tom Best now with his 6th goal of the season. He very much turns it on for the camera, because of his 6 goals, I think 4 of them have been in videos, so he is very much an attention seeker. I wouldn't mind betting that he has the relishes big games or something like that on his name, because I tend to show you the bigger, more important games, and he certainly turns up for them. Let's have a little bit of a look. Does he have that on his thing? Any mention of big games on there at all? No. Well, he's still been jolly good when you've seen him, and that's the important thing. Can I point out as well, 520 people in Vale Farm for this match as well, so it is very nice to see so many people turning out for this little cup run that we're on as well. So long may it continue. We want to keep on pushing on. I mean, obviously, if we do make it past this lot, I think it's the next round that the next tier of teams get thrown into the mix. So the chances of us going much further are limited. But you know what? We're going to make the most of the money while we can. And if we can sneak through to a round where we can make a significant chunk of cash, it would go a long way towards getting the board off my back, who are still asking me to repair the club's financial damage that they caused by taking out a massive loan. And I've just been within my budgets ever since, so I'm still not entirely sure what they're wanting from me. I'm doing my best with this cup run. That is a very good cross from Best, and their goalkeeper has just absolutely flapped it. I think Bayliss has probably distracted him. We'll give Bayliss a little bit of credit there, but it falls to Taylor, and we go 2-1 up. But this is good work again from Best, who is just... I said it in the last episode, I think. I'm likely to say it every episode. Best is the best. His name is an accurate description of where he fits into this squad, and that was great work from him on the right-hand side again. 2-1 up, and we're already getting a delicious scent of the potential money for getting through to the next round in the FA Cup, second qualifying round. For those of you not familiar with the deepest, darkest elements of non-league, before the first round proper, which is when the Football League clubs come in, you have the 3rd round and the 4th qualifying round still to come. So if we make it past this match, which is still a big if at the moment, but if we make it through today, we still have 2 more matches to win against teams who are likely to be of a higher level than us. So it's by no means all said and done that we're going to get a chance to play against a league team at some point, but this is definitely the closest that we've ever been. And now Anton Canerva is on the pitch. So with Anton Canerva on the pitch, who knows what might happen? The boy is scoring goals this season. Got to stop calling him a boy. He's the club captain, and he's a full-grown man now. He turns 21 this year. Do you remember when he was a 16-year-old? He's grown up with us. And there is Canerva, and there is his 7th goal of the season. He is just a goal machine. We always thought he would get there, or hoped he would get there eventually. But he is now scoring goals for fun. Anton Canerva, what a wonderful thing. And Tom Best is great as well. And I think they are going to have a beautiful, long-lasting friendship and partnership as part of this football team. 3-1 up now. That should be us in the hat for the 3rd qualifying round, which is bananas. And Sean Martin is going to get the opportunity to play in what was originally his natural position as an attacking midfielder. We're going to take off Wood as well, and Luca Purse can come on for him. We'll push Duffy out to right back. I'm sure he'll be able to cope with playing there for for 10 minutes or so against a team that haven't really shown much in the way of any kind of attacking intent. They've only had 3 shots in the entire match. They did score one of them, but I think we should probably be okay to cruise into the third qualifying round from here. And this is where the money does start to become even more meaningful. I mean, we've already looked at the fact that we made more money from this cup run than we made from an entire season of football matches last year. But those numbers keep getting bigger every round. So there you go. We've made 3.4k just from prize money for winning that one. But also you have the gate receipt money that comes in as well. And yeah, gate receipts now up to 31 grand for this season, which is bonkers. And now we just need to wait and see who we get in the third qualifying round. I'm not sure when like the National League teams get thrown in. If that's the next round, there are some big teams at that level that could potentially make a draw for the next round. Very interesting. And there are some big teams being thrown in. Hartlepool, Torquay, an away game against a team of that kind of calibre would make us a significant amount of money. Plus the likes of Leamington and other teams that we've managed in various non-league teams. It looks like the North and South teams from the National League are in at this round, and I guess National League proper go in at the fourth qualifying round. So there are potentially interesting games for us to come here. So we obviously have to have a look at the draw. I think we're going to change the plan for the episode as well, and we'll just follow this cup run. Oh, there we go. We are against Chatham. Chatham are at our level. We could genuinely win that again. This is becoming a bit silly now that we're just getting very generous draws every round. Forget Northwood. We'll do it off camera. I'll be back in a minute for Chatham in the third qualifying round of the FA Cup. Wembley are actually going to Wembley this year. We're going to win the whole thing. So in between the cup matches, we have continued our winning run. This is what the league table looks like. 9 games in, 23 points. We are top of the league, and Anton Canerva, second top scorer, 8 goals in 9 appearances for us in the league, a 7.54. He has got better and better every single year, despite the fact his finishing has consistently gone down over those years as well. I don't understand. Finishing means nothing. We've now established finishing means nothing, but Canerva is having a lovely time currently, and now we are going to be playing Chatham in the FA Cup. Chatham are in the Isthmian League Division 1 North, so I think that's the equivalent league to the one we're in. I think we're in Division 1 South. They're second in that. We're obviously top of the South Central version. So this is the closest we've come in this year's FA Cup run to playing against a team who are roughly on our level. Chatham is, I guess, near Maidstone. Does that make it in Kent? Oh, look at that. That's why I'm the king of geography. Chatham is in Kent. And I imagine this is probably geographically the furthest we've ever travelled for a match in the series so far. So if we have a little bit of a zoom in, so it looks like there's a giant park in the middle of Chatham that has a dog park and a bowling club. Where's the football pitch? Oh, that actually looks like a proper football stadium. Is this a real football club? I guess if we look at it from... They've got a stand. I want to be able to peek through these bushes. So there's houses on this side of the road, but through there, there's definitely a legitimate football club. That's a stand. Okay, this might be a little bit beyond our level. So trying our best not to be intimidated by their facilities. This is the team that we're sending there. It's Agwu in goal, a back four of Chadda, Omar, Duffy and Leroy, Macaulay and Burton-Jones in midfield, Taylor, Sant and Best behind Canerva up front. It's our full strength, first choice 11. We mean business. Let's go out there and do a football and hopefully get ourselves into the fourth and final qualifying round of the FA Cup. If we win this match, we'll be just one game away from potentially playing against a football league team and all of the potential money that could be thrown our way off the back of something like that. If we were to get through this and that, and then get an away game against one of the 3 or 4 teams that get really big attendances, we could make a couple of £100,000, which for us would be sensational. But obviously, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on today's game and hopefully on making that progress into the next round. And Best is in. And what does Best do when the cameras are rolling? You may notice that's his 7th goal of the season, because he hasn't scored at all since the previous match that you saw. But as soon as he notices you lot turn up, he's like, oh, I need him to say Best is best. Let's do a performance again. And he just loves showing off for you lot. 1-0 to Wembley. Come on then. We are going to Wembley. We're going to win the FA Cup. There's 1,769 people have turned up for this football match, which does lead me to believe that Chatham might actually be a legitimate football club. Look at all these fans that they've got in there. I wonder how many we've brought with us, because I'd like to think that this is starting to excite us. We're capturing the imagination a little bit. After 4 years of very slow start at Wembley, we feel like we're finally starting to get rolling, get some momentum going. We're top of the league, having got promoted last year. We're on our first ever cup run. Things are actually starting to look pretty good for us. Obviously, we're going to disregard all of the off-the-pitch problems, the fact we nearly went into administration, the fact we no longer have a youth setup. None of that really matters. The aliens have turned up as well, which is interesting. We've not seen them for ages, but Omar heads clear. But yeah, things are definitely starting to look more positive. Things are heading in the right direction. And I did say, when we've talked in the past about doing these deep in non-league road to glory saves, I've said before that once you get a team that can get promoted out of tier 9, you often find that those players are still good enough for tier 8, tier 7, potentially even tier 6 as well, and you can start to build a little bit of momentum. And once the promotions start, they usually come relatively quickly, because the game isn't built to go this far deep down below non-league. The National League North and South is supposed to be the lowest playable level, so the worst players are usually National League North and South level. So if you get someone who's not quite good enough for that level, they'll be good enough for tier 7, but also good enough for tier 10. And it does start to get complicated. And it's why we'll see the likes of Canerva potentially be a goal scorer for us all the way up to the National League. And then it'll just be like, yeah, you're found out now. You have your cap. We saw it with Mick Powell back on the home series all those years ago, that he was a free scoring genius for us until we hit the National League. And then he really did start to slow down, because he couldn't progress any further. And it's not that he'd made 5 divisions of progress, it's that all the previous divisions he'd played with were roughly the same level. And as soon as you're good enough to score 20 goals a season in one of them, you can score 20 goals a season in all of them. And I think that's what we're seeing with Canerva this season. Jamie Sant, another example, of course, scored goals for fun in tier 9. He's having a very nice time here in tier 8 as well. And we're 2-0 up away from home as we approach half time. I mean, even with a penalty, we've got lower XG than Chatham, so they are going to feel pretty hard done by what's gone on in that first half. They don't deserve to be behind, certainly not 2 goals behind, but we'll take it. We've just come here playing our passing football. We've got over 60% possession, like we almost always do. And, wise men have said before, I forget which wise man, which is why I'm being quite generic with it, but it's very difficult for the opposition to score a goal if they've not got the football. So even when a team is potentially carving out better chances than us, if we don't let them have the ball very often, they're much less of a goal threat. And that's what this possession system is doing for us. Anton Canerva continuing his excellent form as well by grabbing himself a goal. It's now 3-0, and it feels like a bit of a smash and grab. We've had 3 shots on target and scored all 3 of them. And I just feel like this is the world evening out a little bit, because we've had this happen to us so many times over those 4 seasons of frustration down in tier 9, and it does feel like finally things are starting to turn in our direction a little bit, and it's jolly nice to see. And it's back with Agwu, and we're already starting to dream about potential fixtures for the next round of this competition. But I mean, I imagine even the revenue split on a match like this is going to have made us more money in gate receipts than we made in the whole of last season. I don't know how much money they charge for tickets, but I think the away team gets a 45% split in the FA Cup. I think it's 45% for each team, and 10% goes off in other directions. So on an attendance of 1,700, that if they're paying £20 each, we're potentially in store for like 18, £20,000 from this. And as we saw when we looked at it previously, we only made about 22 grand, I think, in gate receipts in the whole of last season. So even a relatively small game like this, it's so valuable to us and our financial problems that we've been having. So long may the cup run continue. 3-1. Please don't let them back in the game. I've just done quite the impressive victory speech. I could really do without there being a big comeback coming on. They're going to score again here, aren't they? Oh my word. Apologies for the rather abrupt pause there, boys and girls. I just looked down at my watch because it vibrated and it said I had 66 notifications from my bank. So I had a little bit of a moment of panic until I realised it went back like a month and a half and it was just that I hadn't been clearing the previous ones. But for a moment there, I thought there was going to be a very abrupt stop to the video as I rushed off in a panic. But no, we're good. Don't worry. Don't panic. My word, my heart rate is it's thumping a little bit now. After no matter what happens in this match, it's not going to be quite as terrifying as looking down and having that moment of 66 transactions. Oh my word. Right. Let's try and focus back in on the football again. Agru did not have that one covered at all. It's 3-1 and Chatham are finally starting to get a hold of this game. I mean, they're still ahead of us for XG, so they are still going to be feeling very hard done by, but we're going to continue to play our possession game. Agru passes it out to Duthie. So for Duthie and Sant in particular, who've been away for a couple of years and then come back, that is hideous. Oh, and Agru's got us out of trouble there. But for them to come back to this team playing the football that we play now, they must be very confused that it's the same team and the same manager and a completely different style of play. It's just the fact that they've still got the likes of Canerva and Russ Eddy around. Like, yeah, he just kind of lost his mind last season. We almost went into administration and he had this moment where he just came to training the next day and thought he was Pep Guardiola. We were confused to see him at training, but yeah, he didn't hang around for long, but he did say we were going to change our style of football and here we are now, quite good. Who knew? We should have been doing this all along. That's a reenactment of a conversation that actually happened. Right, we are going to bring Bayliss on for these last couple of minutes, give Canerva a little bit of rest. And, I mean, obviously, we want to see the draw for the next round of the FA Cup because keep the money flowing. I don't even know what I'd prefer at this point. Do we want to keep our run of playing against small teams that we're better than and get that first round proper for presumably for the first time in the history of the football club? I'm not a Wembley historian, but I can't imagine they've made it the first round very often, if at all. That would be quite the story, wouldn't it, if it happened in real life? But I don't know if we want that or if we just want to maximise the money in the next round, knowing that we're probably going to lose it anyway. Luckily, we don't have any control over the draw, and we might not even get to the draw because we're giving Chatham so many chances, and we are very much riding our luck here. If you look at that XG, we have just been. Well, luckily, we've been very clinical in front of goal today, but yeah, on another day, we do not get away with one the way we've got away with one today. Although we might be about to add a fourth. Russ Eddy at the far post can't direct his header goalwards, and it looks like we are going to hold on with that 2-goal advantage as we are now getting deeper and deeper into time added on. But Chatham are in again here. They've turned our defender inside, and our Agwu has made some saves today. Goodness me, he's made a couple of errors as well, but his shot stopping, when called upon, has been excellent. Wood heads it clear. And can we just have the final whistle, please, ref? We are very keen to cash our cheque and see what's to come in the next round. Meanwhile, Chatham, with a minute to go, have got a goal back. It's been disallowed. It's been disallowed. Don't worry about it. That is it. We're in the hat now. The goal was disallowed, and there we have it. We are into the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup. I want to check in again just how much money we've made there. So if we just see, the prize money's still not huge, only £6,000 of prize money. But the important, there you go, our balance has gone back above 100 grand because our gate receipts are getting higher and higher, and prize money higher. It's all increasing. We've now made just about the same amount of money on match day income this year as we did last year. So obviously tomorrow's episode is going to be the 4th qualifying round. Are we going to get the draw now so we can find out who we're playing? Let's just rest the boys, because we are playing 2 games a week at the moment with all these cup runs going on, because we're also still in the FA Trophy. So we are playing a lot of football, but we should have the draw any time now to see. Look at that. We've been unbeaten since March. That's quite impressive. We're selling Sean Martin, by the way. He's got a grumpy on that he's not playing. And, he's not good enough to play. So I think the Sean Martin era is over. But here we go. The final qualifying round before the big boys enter. Let's see who we might get. See, like Walsall would have been a big tie for a team like us. There's some big teams down in non-league. Torquay are still in. Bootle. Boston, yeah. See, Boston would have been fun. I've managed Boston so many times on Football Manager over the years. Kings Lynn would have been another LOLLUJO derby. Potters Bar. Can we have a home draw? Northampton are in non-league. I mean, that's delightful. As a Peterborough fan, love that. Would have liked to have played them, but unfortunately, it's not to be. Doncaster would be a big game for the likes of us as well. We are still in the hat. Are we ever going to come out of this thing? Kidderminster against Tamworth. Tamworth, of course, from non-league to legend this year. Right, we are at home. So it's going to be Wembley versus Barnet. I mean, it's a huge game. Barnet of the National League, former Football League. I mean, it would have been nice to get that away from home, actually. But we share a club legend, because Giuliano Grazioli started his career at Wembley before being signed by Peterborough United, scoring 5 goals in a game against Barnet before then signing for Barnet and clearly going on to become a club legend. But we play Barnet. That will be tomorrow's episode. I mean, we're almost certainly going to get knocked out, but goodness me, is it exciting to play a team like Barnet as a team like Wembley. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.